I think that one of your great strengths is narrative. So you have worked as a screenwriter at some point in your
Yeah.
life also.
Hmm.
But every one of your, not everyone, let's say, probably everyone. I can't say definitively. I've not seen every one of your guitars, but the majority of your guitars certainly come along with a type of a narrative, which I know sometimes you don't want to totally define. But the point is, there's certainly a visual narrative going on with your instruments that's usually unique from one instrument to the next,
Hmm.
and that there's that narrative is tied up in one, how you create it in the first place, the objects in which you choose to use, the story of where the objects came from, how you see its intended use and such. Um, how different do you think your approach to your work today would be had you not been professionally involved with actual narratives and actual story writing and such? Do you think that contributed to your approach to your current work?
Well, I don't think there's a contradiction or no, because the reason to get into narrative in the first place is the same reason or the same basis upon which I approach my work as a guitar builder,
Mm-hmm.
insofar as narrative is concerned. So the interest in narrative
Mm-hmm.
is the beginning, what form it takes, whether it was screenwriting or, the kind of, they're not stories maybe, but they're situations that some of well, especially the Babe guitars, that series I made
Mm-hmm.
with the small dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're situations that suggest a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it this way. Um, and they come out of one example, for instance, is the frog, the Babe guitar with the frog.
Frog Prince sort of.
No, it's not the Frog Prince. It's I forget what it was called
Mm-hmm.
specifically, but it's a guitar that has an inclusion of this little character, which is a bisque doll.
Mm-hmm.
These are dolls that were made in the 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
of a small child. And I found them at various, I don't know, flea markets, things like that, and started collecting them because they have a very strange, androgynous, and also a little bit creepy quality. And so I decided I'm going to make a series of guitars, including these dolls, into the whole thing. And so it's different adventures that this babe goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was that one day I'm in the courtyard of my work studio in Vienna. And there's this big toad hopping around. I'm wondering, where the hell does that come from in the middle of the city?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the courtyard is, green, it's grass and trees and all that, but it seemed a very strange thing. Anyway, I never thought about it again until a year later when I opened a box because I am an empty box in the studio, and there it was. And it was mummified. And so it suggested to me a situation where you have the doll
Mm-hmm.
and this big frog, which is about the size of the doll, in a sense of like the babe meets the monster. And they were the, in, surrounded by leaves, like in a forest-like setting.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw when I poured the resin, which kind of makes the colors pop, was that suddenly this gray mummified frog turned out to have a wonderfully speckled skin,
Mm-hmm.
and that started popping out. And so it's actually a really kind of beautiful thing. And so you have this guitar with a little situation in the near the tail, with that doll and the frog, and it looks like the frog is maybe it's eating the doll, maybe it's attacking the doll. The kind of ambivalence. So it's not a narrative in terms of I'm saying, okay, this is what's happening. It's just a situation that has a potential. And in the film, or when you're working in the narrative sense for a movie or something, you're looking for the action, you're looking for the story.
Yeah.
And I think in my work in terms of the guitars, it's more a situational narrative in sense of it's about the potential of what could happen. Even in the sense of you're juxtaposing colors or shapes or the dynamics that emerge out of that. In that sense, I work very much, I think, like a painter or an artist, where you work on something until it's right. And you may not even be able at that point to really explain it or define it. But it's the sense of, okay, this is done.
Yeah. Thank you for watching and listening. You can find more episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts. And a special thanks to those who support us on Patreon. It's your support that enables us to do this work.